Hello. So today we have a 7 energy day with a 2 of clubs contract in a 7 energy month. So we are really being asked to release and let go today of all of our attachments. The 7 has to do with attachments and being called higher. And the 2 covers codependence, which is the ultimate in attachments, right? And so let's dive into this because we have the full moon partial lunar eclipse happening either tonight or early in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, depending on where you live. Tomorrow morning is when it happens here in Los Angeles in the Pacific time zone. We're already feeling it no matter where you live in the world. We've been feeling the build up to this all week. So I'm Kristen Vallis. I am a quantum numerologist and a wealth expansion and certified brain game coach. And all of that is just a fancy way of saying that I help people discover who they are, what they want, why they want it, and learn how to create it easily and effortlessly so they can enjoy a life that they really love, and really expressing your purpose, living your purpose, and doing life fun, because life is supposed to be fun and easy, and today it's not going to feel that way. So I'd like to dive in and help you navigate this so that maybe it doesn't have to be so dramatic for you today, because we are going to see a lot of drama rising up today. We have been all week. This has been very intense, very uncomfortable energy in general for the collective. And yet it's affording us great opportunities for extraordinary growth and expansion. And those of us who are more tuned into that, in the know, can see that and can, kind of embrace this challenging energy, because we know it's taking us higher. We know that it is moving us through something that has to happen in order for us to be more free. And freedom is a word that has been rippling throughout the collective for a couple of years now, that we've been experiencing all of these restrictions from the outside world to our freedom, and the call to finding that freedom within, no matter what's happening in the outside world, has been one of the biggest lessons that we've been learning. And really, so today the 7 is about releasing attachments to things, releasing fixed mindset, which is that Taurus full moon that we're coming into tonight. Taurus can be very stubborn, very fixed mindset, right? And this is, this double 7 energy is really highlighting this. Where are we being stubborn in our beliefs and thinking that there's only one way, or that our way is the right way, or being faced with realizing that our belief systems that we've been living with have not been working for us and aren't actually true, and being afraid to let go of them anyway. This is where the codependence comes in with that 2 of clubs, the codependent thinking, where we're in denial. We have the truth facing us smack in our face, and yet we're denying it. We can't allow ourselves to see the truth because it's going to be difficult to process, difficult to face. And so this full moon is saying, you got to face this stuff. You've got to look at it. You've got to be willing to look at it and see it for what it is. And that's not easy to do. I spent 6 years in Codependence Anonymous 12-step program to recover from my experience in a cult that I was in. And some people think that's a little strange when I tell them that, or they're, kind of like, oh, you were in a cult, how weird. And really, it's so fascinating to me, because what I learned from my experience and from learning about cults and how they work, and learning about codependence and how it shows up in our lives, I learned that all of life is a cult. It's really just a question of choosing which cult you want to be part of, which culture you want to be part of, right? And so we're choosing and creating a new culture right now, because the culture we've had thus far is about separation, it's about fear, it's about anxiety, it's about um, uh, control, it's about the haves and the have-nots. It's about duality. And it's not the truth of who we are as spiritual beings. Our spiritual truth is that we are love and that we are not separate. We are one. We are unified. And yet we're not seeing that in our world right now, because there's all these misguided, misinformed belief systems that we've been programmed with for thousands of years, that we are separate, that we are limited, that there are limited resources, that we need to fight for those resources, that, you know, there's not enough for everyone. All of that's a lie. And the, you know, the codependence right now, and rising up too, the idea that we need somebody to tell us what to do, how to behave, or we need to do that to others in order to be safe, right? And so codependent patterns fall into 5 categories. You've got your denial patterns, you've got low self-esteem patterns, the I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I can't make my own decisions, you know, I don't trust my own intuition. The 2 is very intuitive. We are very intuitive beings by nature, but how much have we been conditioned not to trust our intuition? Because we've been told that when we have those intuitive nudges, that we're wrong, that that's not right. We've been gaslit for so many years, right? And we're really seeing this rise up to such a pinnacle right now, and this is the moment, this is the pinnacle, this eclipse season that we're in right now, this is the pinnacle moment of seeing all of that darkness, all of those patterns of behavior, and the control structures and the gaslighting and all of that stuff is really in our face and hard to deny anymore. The other patterns we're looking at with codependence, compliance patterns. Where are we compromising our values and integrity in order to fit in order to be accepted, in order to be allowed to participate in society? This is a really big issue that's coming to head right now. And I think no matter where you live in the world, we're really being faced with this. And are we going to compromise our values and integrity in order to be allowed to participate in society right now? And this is a very challenging aspect for all of us to deal with. And, you know, looking at all of those different ways compliance shows up, you know, putting aside our own interests in order to do what other people want, accepting, you know, being extremely loyal, even though it's a harmful situation for you. Like, all of these things are part of these compliance patterns. Then there's the control patterns. So either allowing us to be controlled, allowing ourselves to be controlled, which really falls under the compliance. But the flip side of that is, where are you trying to control things? Where are you trying to force other people to think the way you do, arguing with them? Because the 2 of clubs, this is about arguing. And with that 7, it's about I'm right and you're wrong. There's only one way to do this. And that's just not true. There is an infinite amount of possibilities of how things can happen, what's right for different people. There's not one answer for everyone. And this is where we're being called to really see where we're doing this, really see where our belief systems are limiting our ability to collaborate and love and connect with other human beings, and create that unity on the planet that is actually the truth of who we are. Coming back into home. Home is in our hearts. Home is where love is, unconditional love. And we're being called into that higher state. We cannot get there by controlling our way there. And control is ultimately an illusion. There is no real thing. We don't really have control over anything, anyone, you know, it is a complete illusion. And so, you know, trying to convince others that you're right and they should do things this way, or you're cutting them out, or there's going to be some sort of repercussions for not being, not doing or being the way you want them to be, and not feeling safe around those people that don't acquiesce to your control attempts. This is all of this, what we're looking at, you know, even control, like offering people advice when they don't want it, or, you know, or doing manipulative things like people pleasing is a form of control. And so really looking at all of those darker shadow aspects of ourselves and be willing to let them go, to be willing to step out of them once and for all. The fifth category of codependence is avoidance patterns. So where are you procrastinating? Where are you playing small and not stepping into the fullness of who you are? Where have you been avoiding speaking your truth? Now, today is an interesting day because there's a fine line with speaking your truth today. You really have to do it with grace, because there's that penchant for drama today that's rising up in the collective, so that we can see all of these patterns that we've been living in for so long. So choose your conversations wisely. Choose your moments to set your boundaries and stand up for yourself today wisely. In that, there is a way to speak your truth and set your boundaries without trying to control others, without having to create arguments or dramas. And that is what we're being called to see today, is that there's a way to do it with grace, to do it with allowing others to have the dignity of their own experiences, their own opinions, their own beliefs, and being okay with that, but not having to take on those beliefs and not having to pretend like you're going along with them, but also not having to argue about it or try and play in the drama of it, right? Getting into fights about it and all of that. We're seeing so much of this exacerbation of separation in the world right now. You're either in this category medically or this category medically, and if you're over here, then you know these people who also believe this think you're okay. If you're over here, these people who believe this think you're okay, and the two sides don't think the other's okay. And there's, you know, a lot of judgment and criticism and fighting going on about all of this. And really, the truth is, we're all okay. We're all just fine the way we are with whatever we believe is right for us and our bodies. And, you know, we're seeing this play out in so many different areas, but the physical body has been the big focus for allowing us to see this and allowing us to see this rise up to the surface, all of these different patterns that we've been living in of codependence. And so, you know, we're really being called today, and with this full moon partial lunar eclipse that's happening this evening, to set those intentions of what we want to release, to be willing to see our crap and let it go. Really, setting the intention is so powerful, because when you do that, especially when you do that ceremonially, like writing it down and burning it, if it's safe to do so, when you do that type of ceremonial releasing and forgiveness work, seeing your stuff and then being compassionate, forgive yourself for all of the times that you've engaged in these behaviors, and being willing to see that you were doing the best you could with the information you had at the time. Forgive yourself. Allow yourself the grace and dignity of having your own experiences, having your own path. And we're all learning. We're all learning. And so, you know, having these awarenesses now doesn't mean that you're somehow a bad person, or, you know, that you should have known better. This isn't an opportunity to get in the head games that the Two of Clubs can like to do with the mental beating yourself up stuff. So we don't want to go there. So be really conscious that that energy is present today, and that'll help you navigate it. Grace and compassion are the order of the day. And and forgiveness, right? Forgiveness, self-love, self-compassion, because when you dive into that and you can find that for yourself, you can then extend it to others. Where we get in the drama is when we're unable to see our own stuff, or we see our own stuff, but we feel so much shame and guilt over it. We can't forgive ourselves. That's when we get into drama with others, because we want to play that out with other people, that shame and guilt, in judging them for it, because we can't accept it or forgive ourselves for it. So that's where the drama comes in. You'll be able to sidestep the drama. Clearing. Stuff is clearing today in a big way. You'll be able to sidestep the drama when you allow yourself the grace of being human, of allowing yourself to accept what is, what was, forgive, and let it go. Because it's not now, it's not today, it's not going forward, it's not what you're taking with you. And when you do that, you'll be allowing yourself to step more into your authentic self, to become more in alignment with your core values, to become more in alignment with the truth of who you are, and that is your purpose. And so as we step into that, as we release these things today, so that we can step more into our purpose, when we live our purpose fully, when we live us fully, when we be us fully, that's when we can affect the change we want to see in the world. That's when we create the world full of love-based actions and experiences, instead of what we've been experiencing for the past several thousand years. So this is where we're headed, and this is the way. There's no skipping this step. There's no shortcut to this. And you'll be feeling that today and throughout the weekend. And as we release all of this, we're going to see things speed up. We're going to see an opportunity, lots of opportunities open up for us, and forgiveness is the key. So acceptance and forgiveness today is big, and grace, compassion for yourself, for others. We're all going through this. No one's not experiencing this on some level. And so really keeping that in mind today when you're interacting with others, and gracefully excusing yourself from any drama that might rise up or present itself to you, so that you can navigate this day with a little more peace and ease. So hope that helps you guys. And you're invited tomorrow in the Facebook Love Yourself to Wealth group. I am offering a workshop. The link is in the group, but the workshop is going to be via Zoom. And if you need that link for the Zoom link, just message me. I can get it to you that way if you're not in the Facebook group. But the Facebook group's a lovely place to join and commune and collaborate and connect with other like-minded individuals. So if this message has resonated with you today, you'll love the Love Yourself to Wealth Facebook group. And the link for that is in my bio or in the description of the video, depending on where you're seeing this. And we'll be diving into how to use numerology, specifically your ruling number, your ruling birth number, which I'll help you calculate if you don't know. And we're going to be looking at that and how to leverage this energy of this full moon partial lunar eclipse and the eclipse bridge between the two. There's another eclipse coming up in the beginning of December. And so how to maximize this energy, because there's a lot of opportunity opening up in this 2-week period that we're walking into right now. So how to maximize that in terms of really catapulting your life forward, which is what this 7/7 energy is asking us to do, to go forward, to go higher, to take action bravely, courageously, to trust yourself, to trust your intuition. The intuition energy today is so high with the 2 and the 7 together. really high intuition, and how to make changes, how to really leap into all the possibilities for your life and for the life, the world, right? Changing the world. And so what we want to do and how we can play a part in that by showing up truly as us and diving into that and leaping into that, leaping forward. So we'll be looking at that. That's a free event, and it is from, oh my gosh, what time did I set it for? I believe it's 1 to 2 p.m. I'll make sure that that information is in the description. And it's 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll see you there. I'm looking forward to it. Have a great day.